What's up, guys? It's your man Aaron over here, just eating some dinner, chicken and vegetables. About to edit this lower body workout, legs pretty much, from day 3. Now, I, like an idiot, I forgot to record the day 1 workout, which was upper body. Forgot to record that. Day 2 was just cardio. It was like a circuit for 2 minutes of walking, 2 minutes of jogging, and then 2 minutes of running or sprinting. And you do that 5 sets. Technically, you keep doing that, and the 2 minutes of walking should be your break. So for today, it's lower body. It's a circuit as well because this program that I'm following on bodybuilding.com, it's called Bill Phillips Back to Fit. And it's technically for, I don't want to say old, but aged people. But I decided to do it because it's practically like getting back into shape. I knew it was gonna be pretty easy for me. Well, that's what I thought until I started it today. And the problem was this program is actually pretty challenging for me because I haven't worked out in a few months, so my body kind of just like forgot all that training. I don't drink that much water throughout the day. That's something I need to get back into. So I was really dehydrated. Well, I wasn't properly hydrated, so that caused for some cramping. You'll see in the video. Oh, and I forgot to mention the Monday day 1's workout was upper body. The problem with the video is that it cut off right before my 4th set. The storage in my SD card ran out, so the video just cut off, and I was like, I knew how to fix it. I didn't want to stop working out. I wanted to keep going, so I didn't want to deal with it, so I just turned off my phone, kept, working out, just kept pushing through it. So I'm about to just sit here, eat my dinner, edit this video in like about a couple hours. You guys have a good night. Peace. Okay, so everybody knows that a way to start a workout is with a good warm-up. Now, here I didn't really have an actual warm-up planned. The only thing that was going through my mind is just to get my heart pumping and break a sweat so I could get a good start on my workout. And right here, I just started off right away with some jumping jacks for about a minute or so, yeah. Then I went straight into some high knees. Then did some flutter kicks. Then did some butt kickers. Now the whole warm-up was just about 5 minutes or so. Each warm-up was about a minute and a half. Probably not very good math, but you get an idea. So I stripped off the joggers and the sweatshirt, and I put on some shorts so I could be a little bit more mobile. And right here, I'm just, you could say like warming up my knees, because since it's a leg workout, you don't want any old man knees after a few years of doing this, so it's a good thing to do that. Loosening up your joints is always important right before a lift, so you don't, end up injuring yourself. So after this, I actually, did some basic stretches just so I don't, cramp up or pull anything while I'm doing my lifts. Okay, so going into this, I decided to do 30s first. The first exercise is the dumbbell squat, just regular dumbbell squat. I'm actually going to use 30s throughout the whole superset for each exercise just to see what I can do, because before this, before this whole break of not working out, I could do a lot more than just 30s. So starting it off, it actually was pretty difficult using 30s. Like, my form is completely bad right there. My knees were actually hanging over my toes, which is what's not supposed to happen when you're doing squats. And then the second exercise was the dumbbell deadlifts. Now, this one was really bad. You can see my back arching over a bit. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to keep your back straight as you're going down. And what was weird with this one was I could feel it a little bit on my left hamstring, but I was not feeling it at all on my glutes. I was feeling it a little bit on my back, and for some weird reason, I was feeling it also on my calves, but not a lot on my glutes. And this exercise is known for getting your glutes done, which was pretty weird. I mean, I do understand the fact that the form was really bad, so it must be it. So this next one here is sumo squats, wide stance. Now, these are pretty weird doing it weighted. I've done sumo squats before with just body weight. Having the weights there was kind of weird because having it in the front was kind of throwing me off balance, and plus being a big guy in general, you don't have the best balance in the world. So, yeah. And the next one here is calf raises. Now, the day before this, there was I did some cardio, some jogging and some running, and my calves were really sore. Like, my legs weren't that bad at all, but my calves were just shot. So doing this was pretty difficult, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. But coming out of that exercise, my legs were pretty tight and I could feel like a cramp coming in, so I decided to just do some more stretching because I guess I didn't warm up enough, or I didn't actually stretch enough, stretch out my legs properly. And that's actually really important, or you're going to end up pulling a muscle or even tearing a muscle. So I decided to do some body weight squats before hitting into the weighted ones right away, just to check if I had any more tight muscles that I might have missed while I was doing my extra stretches, because if I jumped into the weighted squats right away, I might end up cramping up or pulling something. So this last one here, the last set for this superset, is the narrow stance dumbbell squat. These were really weird. I did not like these at all because I have really fat thighs, so I couldn't really keep my knees together, and I could only do four reps, and I ended up having to quit because it just didn't feel right. My joints were hurting, my knees were completely over my toes. It just wasn't correct. So I had a 2-minute break, right after that, since that's what the program asked for, is you take 2 minutes in between supersets. And I decided to actually go down 10 pounds. I'm using 20s now because the 30s were actually pretty difficult. This whole week is just supposed to be, feeling around exactly what I can do, what I can't do. And right now I'm just going with weight that I can do somewhat comfortably, but also with a challenge, because the only way you can make progress is if you're having friction and restriction. So here for the deadlifts, I would say that it got easier, using less weight, but right here I tried to go as slow as possible to keep that flatness on my back, but I ended up falling over. Almost, I stumbled, but because I realized, like, to hit your glutes you need to keep your back straight, but I ended up not feeling anything because I couldn't keep my back straight until I got to only a certain point where my back started arching. So I just said, okay, whatever, I just keep going like this. I actually ended up changing the position of the camera so I could center myself more into the video, and which was pretty stupid because it took a really long time to find a spot where my phone would be centered and wouldn't fall over. And so I ended up getting cold, so I had to re-warm up, get my body temp up again, and do some more body weight squats. So I don't end up tearing anything or pulling anything. I actually decided to restart that superset because that was only like a couple of exercises into it, anyways. So I started back up again with the normal dumbbell squat. Was feeling a lot better here actually. I think my form got a little bit better. My knees weren't sticking out as much towards my toes. And I was easily able to pull out a good amount. And here did the deadlifts. I started noticing that like using the 20s, it was way too easy. But my form was still not good at all. So I realized like I'm using an easy weight, but my form's still bad. So I guess it's just from not working out that I lost the form, and also all this extra bulge in my stomach is keeping me from doing the good form that would be able to actually hit my glutes. Sumo squats. These still felt pretty weird, but I don't know, they're okay. I kind of like them. They were hitting my hamstrings a lot better than the deadlifts were. They were also hitting my glutes too, which was pretty weird. And the calf raises. And around here, my calves started hurting a lot more than they were supposed to. Like, worse than the beginning. Even though I used 20s before and then 30s before that, I thought that, coming down weight would make it easier and also getting used to the weight. But, like, this is pretty much where the extra pain kicked in, as if, since my calves were already sore, the extra pain of working on them again kicked in right about here. Just it was hard to stay up, keep that contraction on my calves. It ended up like bringing them down a lot sooner than I would normally do. Now the narrow stand squats, um, they were feeling okay. They were starting to feel better. I was starting to get used to them, but I still did not like them. Like I wasn't able to keep my knees in. They were gradually going back out. You can see instead of going straight, they're going diagonally. They're closer in when I'm standing, and then they're reverting back out as I squat. So 2-minute break right there. Straight back into the narrow stand squats. Now, the whole time during this workout, it's actually pretty tough. You see I'm sweating a lot because you're not supposed to stop. Like, technically not supposed to stop in between the sets. You're supposed to keep going. But I actually took about 3 to 5 seconds in between them to give my forearms a break and to catch my breath. So, because it gave a bit of a cardiovascular exercise as well as breathing pretty heavily. Now, you see here that I actually jumped up again back to 30s because using the 20s were just too easy. Even though my form was pretty bad, I guess it was just I needed to fix that. But right now, I just wanted to give more restriction to my hamstrings while I was doing this. So I decided to jump back up to 30s. And I actually did the same thing for the sumo squats because those were getting too easy too, and I wanted to get more restriction. Now it started up again where having the weight in the front was throwing me off, so it was actually harder to keep my balance. But I was still able to go fast at the speed that I wanted to, which Actually, doesn't look that bad. I think that's the best form I've had throughout this video, other than the fact that I'm like, looking down sometimes. And calf raises here. Now, my forearms are shot because this was around the period where I just like kept going and going and barely took like any time at all in between the lifts. And right here, it's just like really hard to get the last few reps up because my forearms are shot right here, and my left one right there just started stinging really bad. You know, like it was about to give out the end, but it actually ended up pushing through. It hurt pretty bad. Now, right here for the narrow squats, these at this point was not a good idea using the 30s because I actually ended up right there. Balance was not good at all. My foot ended up kicking in. I got this foot condition called plantar fasciitis, and it was not getting any better, especially the fact that I was using really horrible balance with that exercise. So I ended up having to walk around and roll it out just to give it a bit of a break. Then since that was the last exercise for that superset, I ended up getting a 2-minute break, which was good for my foot. Had to do some body weight squats and some extra warm-ups just to get my heart rate up again and to see if I had any more tight muscles that needed more warming up. Now, the set after this re-warm up here is when the video just cuts off. My phone stops recording because it ran out of space. I was able to finish my 4th set fine without any interruptions, but then while I was doing the calf raises on my 5th set, my last one, it ended up my calf just gave out and ended up started cramping, so I ended up having to stop. You know, I had to massage it out because I didn't want to end up pulling anything else. Then for a cool down, I decided to pace around the garage. That's pretty much my lower body workout for day 3. Stick around for the other ones.